Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
They didn't even look me in the eye. I had just logged off after finalizing the overnight server patch when two security guards, not my manager, not HR, appeared at my cubicle with stiff expressions and even stiffer instructions. Pack only what's personal. You're being escorted out immediately. No explanation. No thanks for 19 years of loyalty. Just cold silence and a cardboard box. As I walked down the hallway I paced for nearly 2 decades. The same one where I used to hand out birthday cupcakes and fix broken monitors. I noticed the hush. People avoided my eyes. Some even turned their monitors off as I passed. I felt radioactive. I reached the elevator. The guards didn't say a word. But then, Catharina, a whisper, low and rushed. I turned. It was Ellie, little Ellie from QA, barely 2 years into the company, bright-eyed and always asking me questions about systems logic. Her hand trembled as she passed me a post-it note behind her phone case. Then, as quickly as she appeared, she vanished into a conference room, eyes wide with fear. I slid the note into my jacket before the guards noticed. We rode the elevator in tense silence. Once outside, I sat in my car, the engine off, fingers shaking as I opened the note. They're hiding something big. Don't let them bury you, D.G. My stomach dropped. D.G. William Gilmore. The smug, overconfident VP of cybersecurity who joined just last month. The same guy who insisted on a full audit 2 days before I was fired. The same guy who barely looked at my credentials and made snide remarks about legacy employees clinging to obsolete roles. None of this added up. At home, I paced my kitchen like a trapped animal. My severance email had arrived before I reached the driveway, boilerplate text, NDA clause, and a warning. Any attempt to access company resources post-termination will be treated as a breach of protocol and referred to legal counsel. But they've forgotten one thing. I never decommissioned the dev mirror I built 10 years ago on an isolated legacy server for staging ad patches. It was hidden in plain sight, never on the radar of their newer monitoring tools. I opened the terminal and logged in. Access granted. The server blinked to life. Familiar logs appeared. And something else. A stream of deleted audit trails, with traces I never authorized. My eyes narrowed. Who in their right mind would route live transaction data through a staging mirror? I stared at the screen. Union Data Service. Never heard of it. But there it was flagged across dozens of micropayments. $30 here, $52 there. Thousands of entries. I traced the IP. It pinged back to a shell address in Maryland. Then the name popped up. William Gilmore. Not directly, but through a proxy registration and a P.O. box connected to a strip mall UPS store. My breath hitched. What the hell is this? I leaned back in my chair, the room quiet except for the low hum of the server. They didn't fire me because I was obsolete. They fired me because I was close. Dangerously close, to something someone didn't want found. And William Gilmore? He just made himself my #1 problem. It was nearly midnight when I returned to the ghost server. It still pulsed quietly in a forgotten corner of MTech's cloud, like an old heartbeat no one remembered, except me. Thousands of micropayments routed through a contractor union data service, processed in real time via obfuscated paths. They weren't in any of the company's formal billing pipelines, meaning someone deliberately kept them off the books. Worse, the credentials used to authorize them were once tied to my old admin token, retired last quarter. They were setting me up. I zoomed in on one audit log. It had been altered 2 days before the surprise cybersecurity review, right before my access was revoked. File modified by dewgilmore.admin.temp. I froze. William Gilmore had created a shadow admin account. Sloppy. My phone vibrated. Unknown number. I answered, keeping my voice steady. Hello. A breath. Then a low voice. Stop digging, Catharina. Not everything needs to be found. Click. I stared at the phone. My hands went cold. The only people who knew about this mirror server were me and one intern who helped set it up years ago. Ellie? No, she wouldn't. Suddenly, my screen flickered. A remote connection attempt. Someone was trying to breach the mirror server now. I yanked the connection, copied every log, and shut it down. They knew I was looking, and they were already coming to bury it. By dawn, I I had pieced together the skeleton of the scheme. Two shell corporations, Velterix LLC and Neospan Global, both routing funds from Union Data Service. The registered addresses, a UGAS box in Tulsa and a residential trailer in Nevada. I traced the routing IPs and payment authorizations. They led straight to William Gilmore and Shirley Creighton, our general counsel. It wasn't just embezzlement. It was an inside job, and I'd been fired to cover it. I called Ellie. "Are you alone?" I asked. There was silence, then a whispered, "Yes, Catherine, what's going on?" "My keycard was deactivated this morning." I cursed under my breath. "They're cleaning house. I heard them in the stairwell last night," she said. "Shirley was yelling at someone to shut it down before that woman gets loud." That woman was me. I hung up and opened my old external drive, the one with encrypted backups of every monthly audit I ever run. I decrypted the last 6 months. There it was, $5.1 million, funneled across 37 transactions, all greenlit by Shirley. My stomach churned. This wasn't just theft, it was raw, corporate, calculated, and methodical. Then my door handle rattled. I froze. No knock. No footsteps. Just a slow turn of the knob. I backed away and grabbed the letter opener from my desk drawer. They weren't just burying data. They were ready to bury me too. I didn't sleep the next night. Fear and fury fused into purpose. By morning, I had crafted a polite, remorseful email addressed to Shirley with a CC to William. The subject: formal apology and resignation request. But embedded in a signature block was something far less polite. A concealed payload. My custom script, Black Echo, designed to quietly extract, timestamp, and replicate every fraudulent authorization they touched. Once triggered, it would copy itself to 5 board members' inboxes and a journalist at Business Globe. I hit send. 10 minutes later, my phone rang. "Catherine." William's voice was ice. "That little stunt will cost you." "I just apologize," I reply evenly. "Didn't you get my gift?" A beat. Then the line went dead. 20 minutes passed. Then a knock at my apartment door. I didn't open it. "You're playing a dangerous game," William growled from the hallway. "This won't end the way you think." I recorded every word on my phone. "Neither will yours," I whispered back through the door. Behind me, the progress bar on the script hit 100%. Sent. Archived. Backed up thrice. Now it was only a matter of time. And time, for once, was on my side. It began with sirens. I watched from across the street as federal agents stormed MTech Dynamics. Black windbreakers, drawn badges, chaos erupting behind glass walls. I spotted Shirley being let out, her face bloodless, wrists cuffed. Moments later, William followed, shouting, "This is a mistake. I was set up." A poetic lie, really. Later, I sat across from Agent Rios at a downtown office. My phone buzzed with news alerts. Whistleblower exposes $5.1 million at fraud. SEC investigates MTech executives. "You covered your tracks well," Rios said, flipping through a thick file. "We traced the shell companies. It's airtight." I sipped cold coffee. They were sloppy, arrogant. He smiled. "You didn't just bring down a scheme. You stopped a culture." A week later, MTech's board offered a $2.7 million settlement. No reinstatement, but I didn't need it. I signed with a steady hand. 3 months on, I opened the Glass Code Initiative, a nonprofit funding cybersecurity scholarships for young women from underserved communities. As I stood at the podium of our launch event, I thought of the hallway where it all began. The whisper, the note, the betrayal. Sometimes justice isn't a courtroom. Sometimes it's a keyboard, a truth, and the courage to hit send.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.